Good morning. This is Lee from Universal Astrology Live, and I'm going to be doing a short little bit this morning, just due to the level of activity that we had. So, just trying to get up and out there once again as someone who is doing this stuff. I'm definitely into space weather, and that energy that hit yesterday was powerful for me. I definitely felt it, and I think there's definitely going to be more incoming in the next couple of weeks, for sure. So let's just dive in. I'm going to first pull up the astrology charts because I am an astrologer. Most of the time I use sidereal astrology, which means I'm basically, in summary, lining up with the actual stars, like astronomy style. And this is also close to Vedic astrology as well. And I don't often use tropical astrology, so I still encourage you, if you're really into astrology, for horoscopes and month to month, a more individual horoscope. There's lots of astrologers out there doing that and doing a good job at it. So I'm not going to focus on that. I have a much more global perspective, or a universal perspective, on how all of these energies affect all of us collectively. That's more of my focus, and that's why the universal astrology part is in the name. So in looking at today's sidereal astrology chart, there's still some major alignments going on. Obviously, this one with Pluto is going to take a while. Venus and Mars are still linked up at the same degree, 06, okay, today. On March 7th, I am sitting near Seattle, Washington, in the United States, and it's about 10 a.m. for me. So I'm about 7 hours different from UTC time. So you can keep that in mind. So this conjunction is still going on at the beginning of Capricorn, and we've got the other major one here is in Aquarius with Jupiter and the Sun. Nearby is Neptune, who's been holding position in Aquarius for a very long time, generations. So the conjunctions today are going to be between Saturn, it looks like, and the Moon. So that could be emotional challenges springing up. This could be an extra time for emotional propaganda today. And attacks, we're going to be subject to attacking or attacked emotional upsets in routine. So we might need to reorganize some things. By demand, really, by necessity, instead of like, oh, I think I'll do that today. No, it needs to be like, no, there's shit that you have to get done. You can't put it off. Go do that now. There's probably a couple of things like that Saturn's energy is going to be doing into our emotional centered lives.
Mom, I accidentally stepped on my...
It's okay. I'm recording. I'll help you in a minute, okay? The green here, the green lines, is a trine or a sextile between a lot of different combinations of energies. Sextile energy is a certain small degree away from each other. It's usually harmonious, and it's usually presented in the energy form of opportunity. So not necessity, but opportunity. It could happen. It might happen. It's something that it's a possibility that's arising. So this is pretty major, right? This energy over here, Uranus, who's in Aries, who's really playing a big. This is, I think, why big tech is playing such a major role. It just is holding the energy of Aries, which is a very new, willing, upfront, let's go, let's try new things, beginning, new phase energy. So Uranus, being the ruler of things like Aquarius and this high-end genius tech kind of energy that Aquarius is, as really closely associated with that. He's the king of things like tech. So this being in Aries is affecting a lot of things. So anything that's touching, near, conjuncting with is gotten wonky whenever it's gone or been close to or conjuncting with Uranus, especially the last couple of years. Because big tech has gotten so big and so important. These this is over. So Moon is passing over there right now, and the North Node has been holding this position at the gate of Aries in Taurus for quite a while too. So this can generally in esoteric spirituality can mean the direction that the world is going, or the direction that your life is going, that nodal point that direct that goal. And the South Node is the behind. It's supposed to be the direction where you came from. Oftentimes we find ourselves in the wrong direction in life, and this might be because we're actually not going towards our goals, we're chasing our tail. So when we have things meet up with the node and this energy of the sextile opening up for opportunity, I feel as though we're in a time right now where we can see the opportunity to move forward and to reach real goals, to have real goals that are closer to the true divine nature of the solar system. But this isn't, again, this is this is the energy of choice. So it's not necessarily for everybody, but there has been a lot of energy incoming, and it's for us all, but it's going to be used differently by each of us. These areas of presentation are towards Neptune in our subconscious, towards the sun of our soul substance, and Jupiter, which is an energy medicine held in our creative center, our tummies, our digestion, and things of this nature. So anything that churns inside is ruled by Jupiter, which is a very large, if you think about being pregnant, that very large area of ourselves holds a lot of power and creativity, a lot of creative force. So this is where these opportunities, this energy is being driven to in our bodies or in our spiritual selves. And this is also being driven towards the creative aspects for new opportunities that might bring us closer towards the actual goals that we have for the globe. The other cool thing about this astrology chart today is looking a little bit closer at the outer rings that are here. There's some choice in my behalf on what's there. So this outer ring, which I haven't chosen icons for because I recently had to redo my computer, wanted to show you that in the Nakshatra chart, where this is in is this Bradra. You know what? It's a lot different reading words than it is speaking them out loud. So if I just butcher all these concepts and words that I know really well, you know, I'm not sorry. I'm an American. I don't know how to say things right most of the time. So, and our language is really confusing. So, I wanted to go here because I did a post on my site, universalastrology.live, a while ago, based on the 27 stars and 27 gods, the astrological mythology of ancient India, which is very sidereal based, and the light on life, an introduction to astrology of India, also Vedic and astrology sidereal based. So I did, you know, kind of a summary, a chart of what this came down to for me to reference for at times like this. If we look back into the reports that I did at the beginning of 2020, there was a lot of constellations and a lot of fixed star energy that was portending to disease and hardship and illness and capturing of slaves. So this is just, you know, verbatim what was in the charts in 2020. Again, you can just reference this exact site that I'm on for that. So I find it interesting that right now, this energy that the Sun and Jupiter is holding in this particular area at the moment is in regards to destruction. It says, blessed steps, body to final destinations, the journey from life to next life, two faces, one looking back, one looking forward, or one foot in each world. So this is the Hindu way of looking at, or from India, the way of looking at some of their gods are actually not, they don't look necessarily the constellations so much as they do the stars in those constellations that hold the energies that are vital. So this is looking particularly at a couple of stars in Pegasus. So if we look at Pegasus constellation on this page, so what does Pegasus the constellation associate with? It gives ambition, vanity, intuition, enthusiasm, caprice, and bad judgment. It prevails against disease. of horses, disease of horses, and preserves horsemen in battle. The constellation portends events concerning ships and the ocean, and also changes in weather. In medieval times, it was said to indicate vain individuals with a great deal of ambition, but with very poor judgment. And honestly, that really that pretty much summarizes really well just some of the things that we're going through in my day. I mean, we had a Russian capture of some ships just yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. That was a pretty big deal. Some vessels were captured. Is another method of kind of pushing against Russia in terms of other things that are being done other than sanctions, and battle straight up, is just the capturing of vessels that are worth a lot of money and influence. And then we've got the changes in weather. We've had a lot of sun activity come up, and things start happening in that way, of terms of solar activity. The last episode that I had, we had a CME that we were expecting the shock from late on the 5th or early on the 6th. That definitely happened, and I will at this point move over to my screens here a little bit. We'll see a couple of things that I've added here. This is the Schumann resonance. This is evidence that shock from that CME, that was not a direct hit, but it definitely got into us. It definitely arrived, and I've definitely felt it yesterday. Some ear ringing and just general, I was yawning a lot, like all day. I wasn't necessarily tired. I had a really great day outside. It was beautiful for us here in Washington. But yeah, yawning throughout most of the day. I do feel much, I don't feel as much of that right now in comparison to the energy of yesterday. And we can see that reflecting on the Schumann here too. So definitely felt that. I'm sure others did as well. If you did, feel free to leave comments in that. How did you feel? How does it affect you? I know that Vert Arbursto definitely in his harmonics Schumann resonance channel and Facebook group is amazing. I've talked to him personally. He's great. I put together on my Astrology Live YouTube page a playlist of the best breakdowns, I think, and there's like 92 videos on there. He's been live streaming and he's been doing fabulous. So if you want to learn more about the Schumann resonance, that's the number one recommendation that I can send you to. He really breaks down the technical stuff so that people can understand it and learn it for themselves. It's not the technical stuff with the Schumann resonance is not something that you can skip. The sun here is the whoops, not the background. Let's get my face and move it over. Moving my face. Oh, okay. So this is our pretty sun. Oh god, it's so pretty. But we've got a lot of activity popping off in this. A lot of stringy things can be seen coming up and off here and here as it's moving around, reorganizing itself, pulling things in. We can see a lot of spiraling going up and down and all around. This is a very, very active sun right now. We can see the leftovers of a pop-off right here, and this solar storm, this stuff down here that I pointed out last time as reference. So we're just spinning out, and coming into view is, poof, there's one. There's a CME that was let off here. This active area up here in the northern part is looking pretty juicy to me as well. There are other channels that cover this in much more detail, such as Wages World and Ben Davidson and even Tam with the Scope and stuff. Should have an episode up in the next, probably tomorrow. So just exciting stuff. There's a lot of activity here, a lot to see and to watch out for. And if I was going to go over to the CME board, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the sun or any of the charts today, but I do want to just check the CME board and see if we can see what to expect as far as any new activity, if there's anything more has popped off since the last time that I was online. But first, let's get really good at this whole recording thing. And why do I keep grabbing the background? That's really not handy. Let's not try to do that anymore, mouse. Come on, work with me. The screen capture on. Yes. Do the things I want you to do for me. So in the last couple years, I took up D&D as like one of my hobbies, one of my things that I do as the dungeon master. So if that explains my little like self-entertained little oops, I'm not sorry. It's so much fun, and that's where I get it from. I'm trying to look for the CME board. Here we go.
Mom, are you done?
Almost. So that got here, this got here, this got here. Not anything new in expectation yet as far as CMEs go. There's lots of other activity that you can check on at things like Space Weather Live or spaceweather.com. Yeah, it's all over the board. Wages World just did a really good update last night that's on our Telegram here if you want to catch that.
Mommy, I need a skirt on. Mommy, there's sparkly clay on your chair.
There is. So we are looking at the sky. What do you see, Charlie?
Sun, Earth, and all the planets.
Venus, Mars, Pluto, they're all up in a line, huh? They're all in a line.
Yeah, how are they all in a line?
That's just when we pause it, they're really just moving around in circles, but I have it paused right now. I need to turn on Miser objects though, because I found this real interesting, that along with this spheres it's a perfect alignment to the Miser 75 object, which is a globular cluster. So, just on top of that, I do find it really interesting when there doesn't appear to be anything there, that it's in perfect conjunction or alignment with. When you go outside the box, there usually is something behind this power structure that's also in near perfect alignment, such as a Miser object, a comet, or these other things.
Why are you having cards out?
I need to do... Why do I have cards out?
Yeah.
I have cards out because I was going to show that I have with the moon phase with the cards. Do you want to help me with that?
No.
How about have you hold up a card for him? Can you hold this up and show them? This is the moon phase today. The card itself says self-care, and so we're after a new moon, a couple days. We're about 25% light from the moon.
I don't want to do it.
All right, thanks for your help, Charlie. You're awesome. I'm gonna wrap this up and say thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Are you done?
Yep.